Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. New year. We're back. It's crazy. It's like so many, season after season after season, and we're still here. But welcome, guys, to another episode of the Lions Den podcast. Everybody watching us via YouTube and X. Hello, welcome. As always, please let us know what your thoughts are. Feel free to jump in, comment. It would definitely share the comments during the podcast. We would love to hear from you, all the Fiera fans out there. So thank you guys for joining us. We are here to talk about everything Club Leon, and we are going to take it back a bit, towards the end of the year, Club World Cup. So we'll definitely start off with that and kind of head into jornada one. And oddly, we play till Wednesday. So to me, kind of still feels like the season hasn't started, but it has because the jornada already started. But anyways, but yeah, guys. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Javi will be running a little bit late, but he'll definitely join when he is ready. Carlos and Louis, gentlemen, how are we feeling? Leon's back. Liga MX is back. We're back.
Well, I'll just say this one thing. Life comes at you fast. The last time we talked on this podcast, we were in a completely different frame of mind, a completely different mindset. We weren't thinking about the club in any way, shape, or form along the same terms as we are now. At least that's how it is for me. And obviously there's a whole lot to cover, but obviously, we were building ourselves up all through 2023 to this huge climax that we knew was coming since the Conca Champions win, and that was all one thing, that was all one context, and now it's a completely new era, a completely different team. It's just basically a whole new situation. So you know what? I think that's healthy. I think that's healthy for the club. I think it's probably healthy for us. We were building ourselves up to this thing that ended, and now we can move forward and start to think about a new era for the club. And I think that's good for everybody.
New year, new coach, new players. Yeah, we'll go over how last year ended in a minute, but yeah, new year. Let's try to make the most of it. I'm excited. The league started a few days ago. A lot of great things, a lot of great games. But yeah, I'm excited about this tournament. Excited to see what these new guys can bring to the team. I'm excited about what's his name, Alan Medina. Is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Excited to see what he can do. Yeah, just exciting times right now. And yeah, we're back for another season. Everyone's back. We'll have Javi in a bit. Arturo Ruiz already showing some love, and yeah, let's strap up.
He is the first comment of 2024 on this podcast. Arriba la fiera. Thanks, Arturo, for joining us. So obviously, yes, the last time we were here, we were talking about our quarterfinal against America. It just feels weird thinking about that game and how it feels like it's been so long, and my feelings towards that second leg were just I had mixed emotions. I don't know what your thoughts were on the second leg
Against America?
Oh,
against America. Yeah, it's been so long. Aggregated, we lost 4-2, and second leg they beat us 2-0 at home in the stick.
Yeah, I didn't give us too much of a chance in that series. But again, I said since then, the Club World Cup is coming. The Club World Cup is coming. That is the main focus. I don't, anything we do against America, we're playing with house money. That's a bonus, in my opinion. I know you guys didn't think that way, but that was kind of my thought process toward it. Until we played the first leg and played them pretty tough, and probably could have and should have come out of that first leg with a win. And we're talking about playing against the team that ultimately went on to win the title. So, looking at it in hindsight, we played them tough. We took an early lead. We played them tough at home. And looking at it under those circumstances, we probably could have and should have done more in that leg too. And, might be a completely different history we'd be writing. Obviously, again, we're talking about the team that won it all, that won the title. And, you could argue that we were possibly the toughest opposition they faced on the road to that title, among the toughest, if not the toughest. And so, yeah, looking at it in those circumstances, probably could have done more, should have done more. The last league season for Larcamón could have had a better ending, and who knows what would have happened after that. But yeah, I mean that's kind of how I look at it. I wasn't really expecting much, and then they gave us a little bit of hope, a little bit of something to hope for, and then didn't capitalize on it. Didn't follow through with it in that second leg. So yeah, that's just kind of how things played out for me.
Yeah. I think the last well-rounded and great 45 minutes of football that we saw under Larcamón was that first half in the away leg. Because we completely dominated that first half. It looked like, I remember tweeting, like, this is chess, not checkers, because Larcamón was completely out-coaching ¿cómo se llama?
Jardine.
Jardine.
He completely outcoached them in that first half, and you could tell which coach had been under pressure situations before and which one hadn't. Obviously, Larcamón winning the CCL and being under pressure, having to win, having to learn how to play liguillas, learn how to play those types of games. He had that experience under his belt, and you can tell in that first half. And then the second half, I don't know. I think that was a soft call on the penalty. I mean, I really don't want to talk about it anymore because it's been so long. But it was such a soft call, and it was the ref bailed him out. It was like when the backs were against the wall, they were against the ropes, and Larcamón and the boys were swinging, and we came close. I mean, Viñas's ball came off the post. That's how close we came to really putting our foot again on their necks. And then again, they got bailed out by the ref, and then just everything just went downhill from there. I think our spirits just died after that.
Yeah, I don't think the final score in that second leg doesn't really tell the whole story of how the series went. And like I said, I mean, we gave them as good of a fight as anybody in their run to the title. And you're absolutely right, Carlos, about Larcamón. It's the guy has so many redeeming qualities. Obviously, I mean, I agree that it was time to move on from him after that absolute fracaso. That I was there in flesh and blood to see us fall from glory. And I just can't come. I don't think there's any coming back from that when you're the coach and there's that much buildup. But the guy still has so many good qualities, and one of them is like he knew what he was in for. He knew what he was in for in this series against quality opposition. And Jardine, I would say that America learned a lot in that series about what it takes to win on that particular stage. I mean, they managed to get through us, and then from then on, I felt like their path was easier. And they learned a lot from playing against us. And I mean, it's just a shame that it had to come at our expense because, I was starting to get after that first leg in that first half, which I was not able to attend. I was watching, I had a Star Wars gig, so I was watching from a bar in Leon, like part of the first half as much as I could. And they got my hopes up. They got my hopes up in that first half, and then it just came crashing down.
I think to know a valuable piece that was missing in that second half was Mena. Like, even though we did have a great first half, I think Mena being absent was definitely a factor.
He always seems to be absent in the very biggest moments now, doesn't he? Whether it be emotionally absent, either emotionally absent and basically invisible, or physically unavailable to play. I mean, it's happened several times.
Yeah, I mean, he was physically unavailable. Pero pues ya que, I mean, ya, o sea, el hubiera nunca existe. It is what it is. I think,
yeah, you're right. You're right.
I just hate losing towards America. I just hate it. But when it came down to America or Tigres, I said I'd rather have America win than Tigres.
Me too. I said the same thing. Shout out to Luis from Tigres English. Sorry.
Yeah,
Luis.
shout out to Luis. Sorry, Luis.
Oh, I definitely would rather. I definitely rather would.
But I think because I think
Tigres, yeah.
I think America was due for a title. You know what I mean? They have a really good squad. So does Tigres. But I think America just looked really good. They have a lot of good players, and I think it was about time that they won a title.
I don't really believe in that kind of thing. You got to, I mean, you got to go out and win it. Yeah, you got a good squad, but you got to go out and win it. So props to them for doing so. But I don't
Yeah,
think they did.
but
I don't think it was because they were due. They did it because they did it.
I think because it was due and they were able to accomplish it. Because if you talk about the
Oh, you froze for a second, Cuddy, and now you're muted.
Uh-oh.
You're muted, Cuddy.
There we go.
sorry. No, I'm just saying. I mean, if we're talking about like cuánto cuesta un plantel y lo que ha hecho, I mean, you look at Monterrey, and I mean, when's the last time they won a title? And they
Apertura
always come up
2019.
short. They always come up short, though. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, it is a long time ago.
But anyways, we were knocked out, and we were heading into Club World Cup, and I honestly was like, I mean, me and Louis had talked about it, right? We were going up back and forth in that episode about what we were thinking about, that Club World Cup and, our first opponent and like, ¿qué pasaría if we moved on, blah, blah. Yeah, I mean, first I want to hear, Louis, how's the trip? Did you run into other fans out there, and how did they greet you, and all the details?
Yeah, I was surprised. For the longest time planning the whole process, I thought that the only people who were going to make the trip were myself and Paco Vela. We spent most of the trip together. We went on a hotel to save a little bit of cash, and because we were doing this on por nuestra cuenta, nobody was funding this for us. Obviously, not even for him, a big time journalist. He and one chavo named Christian. Shout out to Christian. I don't think he listens to this podcast, but he's a good guy in the Club Leon community who's one of the heads of Soccer Adictos MX. I don't know if you guys follow that page at all, any of their social media.
Seen it around.
Yeah, he's one of the guys who started that up, and he's the Leon correspondent for them. And so he and Paco Vela were the only ones who were media credentialed following Leon at all. I mean, obviously, nobody from the big national media made the trip. No one else from any of the pages made the trip. I actually filled in for Territorio Esmeralda to give them some content from the stadium on the day of the match. I'm not officially affiliated with them, but they asked me to do them a favor to generate some content for them in the name of the page, and I did so. But yeah, I was surprised. There were about, I found out basically on the day of the match when I arrived, like who all had shown up. I'd say there were about 25 people, 25, maybe closer to 50. I don't know. It was a healthy chunk. There were some people who, from the porra, the official porra, who came from Leon, came from Mexico. There were other people who came from other parts of the world. There was a señor I think he came from Houston. It was a Leon fan. He lives in Houston, and he flew out for it. There were people peppered in here and there. It was a little disappointing to see how much representation we had in comparison to Urawa Reds, who not only had a big time fan base there, but they were super organized. Everything was super just. I mean, they were cheering in unison the entire time. They had it all completely planned out, and we were just kind of trying to make it work. And we, there wasn't a ton of communication about where we were going to be in the stands beforehand, so we were just kind of littered around the stadium, and it wasn't a particularly well attended match to begin with. But yeah, I mean, what can I say, guys? It was a huge bummer to go all that way and then to have that happen. However, I'm still trying to, how would we say, dimensionar. I still haven't completely dimensionado what that trip in the grand scheme of things means for me, what it meant for the club. Just being there, I mean, it was kind of a surreal, not kind of, it was a very, very surreal experience just to be there for not just our match, but for the entire tournament. I was fortunate to see 5 matches at the Club World Cup. I saw every participating team play at least once. And I saw both of the matches that were played in the smaller stadium and 3 matches that were played in the larger stadium, including the Partido Inaugural with Al Ittihad featuring Karim Benzema and who's the other one? Mane? Is it Mane? Yeah, I think it is. And also the final, Man City versus Fluminense. So, I mean, it was once I was able to get over the sting of having gone all that way just to see the team lose and then enjoy and just let myself enjoy the experience outside of a Club Leon context, it was an incredible trip. I mean, it's a once in a lifetime kind of thing. who knows if and when I'll ever go back to Saudi Arabia? Maybe in the what's it going to be, the 2034 World Cup? I think is going to be played there. You never know. But again, once I was able to separate myself from the Club Leon part of it, it was an amazing experience. I wouldn't trade it for anything. No matter how it turned out for us, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I would do it again in a heartbeat. And yeah, I saw 3 new countries on this trip. Flew through Turkey, was in Saudi Arabia for the bulk of it, obviously, and then took a little side trip to Dubai, which was incredible. So again, regardless of what happened to Club Leon, it was an amazing trip, and I regret nothing. And one day I'll be able to figure out what it all means for me in my experience of life.
Yeah. Well, next time you won't have to travel too far for the next Club World Cup.
Yeah, that is absolutely
It'll be a
true.
stone's throw away.
Yeah, who knows? The logistics might be a little more complicated, though, depending on how many different stadiums they make us play in. Because across the country, this one was held. The whole tournament was held in the same city, so that was one very huge benefit. That made it very easy to go to multiple matches. We'll see about 2025. I'm curious to see how that's going to go, and I'm also curious to see if the Copa Interamericana, which is rumored but has not been confirmed, will be played sometime this year, also in the U.S. I hope that does happen too. But yeah, right now it's weird. I mean, we'll be for the first time, at least in this semester, without an international tournament to play since 2020. The last 3 years we've had Conca Champions. So, and this time all we have to look forward to is a Liga MX season. So it's a weird feeling. It's a strange feeling.
Isn't Leagues Cup still around? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leagues
Cup. Yeah, the Leagues Cup, but considering every team in the league plays in that, I don't consider it to be on the same. It's not the same grado of excitement for that, because every team in Liga MX is involved in that, whether they want to be or not. Whereas the Conca Champions, I feel
and we all know who's going to win it.
Sure, but it's also that's not played at the same time as the Liga MX season, so I guess it is sort of. But you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm sure maybe you guys feel differently, but I'm just not as excited for that as I would be for another Conca Champions appearance.
No, I mean, if anything, I think today showed that clearly the Leagues Cup is triumphs over Champions League. But that's another side note. Out of the best awards today, that Messi won, and it should have been Haaland, but that's just my personal opinion. Jokes on Twitter were, okay, so now we see the Leagues Cup triumphs over Champions League, which I thought was absurd. But anyways, on the comments, Gustavo Aranda said, excited to see if Fidel levels up. We'll definitely talk about kind of a couple of rumors that were there for Fidel, so we'll definitely talk about that. Arturo Ruiz said, being the most important tournament in the club's history, the whole directiva and players really choked and they should all be fired. He said, that is my opinion.
No, I agree with you. That's what I was saying about as many good qualities as a coach as I think Larcamón still has, and wish him all the best as long as he's not still coaching in Liga MX. I wish him all the best in his future endeavors, but there's no coming back from that failure. I mean, he had to go. You can't. The players are a different story. You cannot just eviscerate, completely get rid of your entire team. Unfortunately, that's not that's not how the game works. But you can get rid of the coaching staff, and they did what they had to do there. Also, I think a lot of the guys, not a lot, but some of the key players on our roster were not really part of the process of getting to that Club World Cup. And they're kind of just basically getting their feet wet with the organization. Guys like Diente and guys like Viñas. I mean, they weren't part of that build-up to the Club World Cup. This was their first season with us. I mean, they came and joined the club already qualified for it, and then they, I expect more out of. I think they're great players, and I expect more out of them this season. You can't, I don't want to give up on those kind of guys yet. I do think, when we talk about refuerzos and all that coming up in a bit, I do think there are some players who are still with the club who should not be. I agree with you there. I think there are a few guys who are still here who probably their ciclo had finished already. But replacing the entire team was probably not a realistic prospect.
Well, I was surprised that, I mean, I genuinely was surprised of Lacamon's departure, especially like that same day,
Same.
right? I was like,
Yeah.
really? Like, because I think he's a great coach, and I think it's not entirely his fault. Obviously,
Mhm.
tenemos que ver los jugadores, you know what I mean? O sea, cada quien tiene su culpa, right? So I think to me, it just seemed a bit harsh that straight after he won the CCL in the summer, didn't have a great, Leagues Cup, which, I don't even count that, but whatever. Obviously the Mexican league, right, Liga MX, which was very frustrating, and obviously, yes, having, the awful, humillante, I want to say, like, to the Club World Cup, pero nunca estuvimos preparados. O sea, to me, it's like fuimos a la guerra sin fusil. You know what I mean? Like what Louis said, yeah, we had Diente, we had Viñas. They were, showing kind of what qualities they have, but it was just their first season. You know what I mean? It was just, to me, it was un desastre, whichever way you saw it. But I did not expect for them to say, okay, Lacamon, thank you very much. You're out the door that same day. That's what really took me back.
Yeah.
But it
Same
did
here.
it really surprise you though, given how fickle the Liga MX is with that sort of thing? Like, it's the easiest. I mean, they needed to make a big move. The easiest big move you can make within an organization is to fire the coach. So, I mean, I just think, he might have deserved another season, but he just wasn't going to get it after that happened. There was just no way he was going to get it. Fair or not, he just wasn't going to get it.
Yeah. I think the most surprising thing is what came after. So like the announcement came and it was like, okay, this is huge. This is obviously, like obviously we expected a little more out of this tournament and out of this coach, but okay, like this is the move that you would expect when a team fails like this. They immediately sack the coach. But then after you see the videos of Larcamon, his presentation at Cruzeiro, and you see that it was recorded in Saudi Arabia, and you see that La Presentación de Baba was also recorded in Saudi Arabia, which makes you think this was already planned a long time ago. Like we went into the Club World Cup knowing that it was Larcamon's last game.
Yeah. Well, I think even what is it? Larcamon had said that that Cruzeiro had reached out to him like mid-season, and vice versa. That Club León had reached out to Bava también during the season.
A long time ago.
So yeah, I mean,
this relationship was severed a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if it's so much that as it is. Guys have their bases covered for whatever might happen. I mean, the guys are prepared, whether it be a directiva, a coach, a player. The guys they're prepared for whatever might happen. I mean, Larcamon knew he did not have a great Liga MX season, and he knew that if he did not do well in this Club World Cup, he probably would not be retained. So, I mean, he's not going to wait till after that happens to have his representation, at least, to get in touch with other options. I mean, these things it's whether it be coach, player, directiva. I mean, there was an interesting message from Pedro Romero today. I don't know if you guys saw this, but he is also obviously going to Cruzeiro, being rejoined with Larcamon. And he said today that Cruzeiro had talked to him. They'd asked him, they said, we want you back, because he had played there previously. Mm-hmm. We want you back. Come play with us next season. And he's like, apparently this was months ago. And he said, let me play the Club World Cup with Leon and then I'll come. This is apparently him saying, this is what he said today when asked about it. So these guys no matter what happens, they're going to have their bases covered months in advance. It's not just Liga MX. I mean, look at all the coaching carousel in college football and the NFL happening right now too. And then these guys within a couple of days have a new gig. That's just, it was bizarre.
I think Baba was lined up. Like, he was on call. He was lined up.
Yeah.
I think maybe there was some talks already. I mean, with Carlos,
Sure.
It was like awkward.
Is there not like a rule, like a tampering rule, or maybe like in your contract, like you can't negotiate with other teams if you're under contract with us?
Yeah,
because does that probably have. I mean, I'm sure it's like
they have
there's
to
a
talk
loophole.
To the club first.
There's a loophole. It's like a gray area. What constitutes a negotiation and what constitutes just friendly chatter? I'm sure that's how they managed to get it done. Like, for example, like NBA guys, in the NBA when they're trying to recruit a guy to the, LeBron's trying to recruit somebody to join the Lakers or whatever. They can't monitor friends having a chat over WhatsApp. They just can't. That's not something that can be monitored or prohibited, and that's not tampering. Like if you go through official channels, it's tampering. But if it's just two buddies in the industry, friends, peers, if it's just two peers having a chat over WhatsApp, that's not tampering. There's no way you can possibly control that, monitor that. And I'm sure it was the same kind of deal.
Seeing this coming, but he just wanted to give Larcamón his Club World Cup and then deuces.
Yeah, look, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I don't think this is a hot take, but if Larcamón had beaten Urawa and led the team to the semifinal against Man City and played a decent game where they didn't get absolutely humiliated, he would probably still be coaching León. And just because these guys have contingency plans in place doesn't mean they get executed. Like, I think there was a world where no matter what, they had talks with Baba beforehand, and Larcamón had his talks with Cruzeiro. But there was a world where all that falls through, and if Larcamón has a good showing at the Club World Cup, he's still coaching the team today. I think there's a world where that happens. Just because they had these talks doesn't mean. Yeah, I do.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like they were convinced. They were convinced that he was gone.
Let's go. Let's put it this way, Carlos. Let's say he won the Club World Cup. He would still be coaching the team today. Or no? I think no matter what.
I personally think the decision was taken months before, maybe weeks before. Like, no matter what happens, and like Arturo Ruiz said, se ganó. He won the Conca Champions. It's his Club World Cup. At least give him that game. Pase lo que pase, he's leaving anyway. That's what I think. That's my take.
I disagree.
I think I agree with Carlos with that. Yeah.
I disagree with both of you then. I think there was a world where this didn't happen.
That's fine. I agree with Carlos. I think there was an expiration date, and ganó la CCL. Here's your tournament, and then pase lo que pase, we part ways. I mean, sometimes a story like that is better off like that.
Yeah, I mean, because think about how many coaches leave their team and it's announced before they leave that they're going to leave, right? And then they already have at least rumors or at least a job lined up after that. With this one, there was no announcement before he left, and literally before they even came back to Mexico, boom, job lined up, Baba lined up, so it just seems kind of weird like that that you as a coach, as a professional, didn't even say, hey, you know what, let me get back to Mexico, I need to chill out, talk to my family, maybe we're negotiating with Grupo Pachuca still, we're going to go see what happens in Mexico, but right now I'm just going to chill, get back to Mexico with my players and see what happens. That didn't happen. You literally recorded your welcome video to Cruzeiro in your hotel, and that just to me sounds weird. It's like, wait, you're not even gonna let the atmosphere que se calme, like nothing.
These are very prideful individuals we're talking about here. I mean, Larcamón is proud of what he's done and who he is and the prospects that he has on the table. Like, why wait? Let's move on to the next thing. Ultimately, whether there was a possibility of him staying if he'd had a better performance at the Club World Cup or not, I think the right thing happened. I think what needed to happen happened. Too. It was a bizarre experience because Paco Bell and I were staying across the street, literally across the street from the stadium where the big failure happened. We were right there. And it sucked because then we had to stare at it out the window for the entire rest of the 2 weeks, remembering that's where that happened. Anyway, so a day before, Paco and I went over there for the conocimiento de cancha, and Larcamón and all of his staff came in. No players were there, but the coaches came. I was standing an inch from Larcamón. I shook his hand. I mean, I think he vaguely at this point knows who I am or knew who I was. But 48 hours later, he's no longer associated with the club, or less than 48 hours later, he's no longer associated with the club. It was just a bizarre experience. That's why I started with life comes at you fast, because look how quickly the entire panorama of the institution changed in less than a day and a half, pretty much.
Do you guys think he had a personal vendetta against Diente? I mean, he didn't start him in the biggest game of the club's history. And we all know Diente is a game changer.
He is, but when he wants to. You know what I mean? So a veces no sabes si te conviene to start him off or to bring him in as a super sub where he subs in and luego te cambia el juego. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a dilemma for me.
So okay, so like, how do you explain this number 10 that he just received?
Oh, I don't know, because we already had this talk about Davila when he got number 10. It was the whole controversy. Davila is not number 10, and then he leaves, and now Diente gets 10.
It clearly means Diente is about to be sold to a Russian club. That's clearly what it means.
Stop! It's the curse del 10 after Montes leaves.
Nah.
Yeah.
I think I agree.
I don't really buy in much to the number thing, but I don't think it's an accident that they had their sights set on this Uruguayan manager, and now the players that they most expect to make an impact are Uruguayan, and it's not just the ones we already had, but the ones they're bringing in. I mean, we're getting 2, at least possibly 3 Uruguayan refuerzos. Like all of our international slots, except for Mena and Barreiro and Tecillo are going to be Uruguayan. It's kind of strange, but obviously, hopefully maybe that national connection with Baba will help get more out of Diente. We'll see. I don't know.
Otro reason, just to add to the Larcamón topic, the statement the club released, they stated they wanted to gain their playing style again, and Larcamón style wasn't clearly what the directiva is used to.
Yeah, the press release. Remember, I was like,
that was shady.
That's a little aggressive for a coach. Yeah. What was the word they used? Avergonzados?
Avergonzados.
They were like, estamos avergonzados, and I was like,
yeah.
Oh no, like, I mean, yes, you do feel like putting your head down because you lost the biggest game of the club's history, but I mean, you forget that this man is the reason you're there in the first place.
I thought it was out of line. Like you get the feeling of it, of course, but like to actually put it out there on a press release and like coming from a club, that kind of seemed a bit harsh to me. Do I think it was Larcamon's end of the era? Of course. What I was saying is that I was just very surprised. Like it's like the match ended and then like a couple hours it was done. You know what I mean? So that was my whole shocked about it. Was it his time to leave? I think so. But I mean, you take away the good things. You know what I mean? You take away a coach that, obviously has a very physical style, and we saw that with the players. We definitely saw that with the players and have an influence on that. Obviously, he brought us great players like Ivan Moreno, and now we're getting, we'll talk about that now. We're going back to Uruguayan coach.
Yeah, at least he was even if the decision for him to leave was taken weeks or months before, at least he was professional about it all the way until the end. Like there was never he never threw any shade at the club or at the fans or anything. He was professional all the way till the end.
Definitely. Gustavo Aranda said, "Is Montes back with the club?" Ooh, should we get into that topic now with the whole? Do we want to get into the departures first and then the arrivals? Yeah, I have a quick slideshow on the arrivals.
Montes is neither of those.
Montes is neither, though. So let's talk about Montes. So Montes' loan has ended. So therefore, he still has contract, and he should be coming back to León, which obviously there was a whole lot of rumors and speculations. Like, obviously the venta de humo, like, va a regresar Montes, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, I think there was a conversation between Jesus Martinez and Chapo that obviously he was no entra en los planes. As of this, I don't know. Have you guys seen anything else about Montes?
No, but I mean, I think the declaraciones that Chucho made were pretty clear. He still has 6 months of contract. We're going to honor that. We're going to pay him his remaining 6 months of contract. But he's not going to be on the roster, like an active player on the roster. Yeah. I think that's pretty. I mean, out of respect for what he means to the institution, they're going to pay him. They're going to pay him what remains of his contract. But he's not going to be an active player. I think for me, it was pretty clear.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he looks like physically, athletically. I don't know where he's at. I don't know how I feel about bringing him back onto the roster, filling up that roster spot when you can fill it up with somebody younger, faster, better, Yeah.
I don't mind filling up a roster spot with a Mexicano. Like it's the foreign slots I'm mostly concerned about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's. What I'm wondering, only thing I'm wondering is he going to retire, or I mean, are they going to pay him his contract and he's going to look for another place to play, or I don't know that part.
I think
murky.
they either look for, if he still wants to play, right? They're gonna have to look for somewhere else. If not, then I guess he'll just stay inactive.
Yeah, what a sad way to go out.
Yeah,
He's a legend.
Nah, but I could see him joining the institution in some way. I don't know.
Yeah.
As a coach or maybe some kind of advisor, like Pete Carroll's doing with the Seahawks. I don't know, something
Coach
like that.
de las básicas.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll find a role for him.
I don't know if he has his coaching certification. I know Nacho Gonzalez got Chapo has his coaching certification.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, he has
Sorry, guys. Arturo Ruiz, I'll pick him up for my indoor game. Hey, that's a good shout.
Yeah.
Okay, so Montes, we'll see the end of that story. Brian Rubio, Louis' favorite, has left the club back to Mazatlan. Obviously, he was on loan.
Did you guys watch him play this last Friday?
I was way higher. I did see him play. He was terrible.
He's still awful.
I didn't.
Yeah, he missed the sitter.
But I mean, I was higher on him than most people were. Honestly, I feel like I was higher on him most of the time than you guys were. Yeah, I feel like his first season was pretty decent, honestly, and then he just completely fell off and hasn't. He
completely fell off.
He was a perfectly good depth piece for his first season, both in Liga and in Conca Champions. He was a perfectly good depth piece. I mean, you didn't want him being your main number 9, but when asked to fill in, he filled in admin. He had what did he have? But in all competitions, he had 6 or 7 goals. I mean, on the biggest stages too. He was okay for that first season. Then last season, he was just a complete non-factor, and I don't think he's ever going to get it back. If that's how he looked playing for Mazatlan, where there's not nearly as much pressure on him to thrive.
Yeah,
and he looked bad.
And it wouldn't have been a good idea for him to stay with Leon, because he was already throwing shade at the fans. I don't know if you guys remember.
Oh yeah,
like he would score a goal, he se los cantaba, to the fans. It wasn't a good way
just
to go
stuff you just should not. No te metas con los.
Don't do that. It's like Paiva, when Paiva was talking about the fans. It's like, dude, don't talk about the fans.
On that note,
let's probably talk about Paiva.
On that note, Paiva is a new Toluca coach, and did you guys hear what he said? That people were getting onto him that no vine aquí para ganar títulos, vine aquí para formar jugadores. And I'm like, I get that 100%. I respect it, but you don't tell your fans that. You know what I mean? Like, especially fans are gonna want their coach
won in like a long time.
Yeah, they're gonna want to be like, oh, vengo aquí. Like every coach says it, right? Vengo aquí a ganar títulos, blah blah, because you want to show that ambition, that dedication, And so people were getting onto him. But I think as of what I've seen now, Toluca have signed Alexis Vega, so we'll definitely see what
they got him.
That's what I'm seeing now. That apparently it's official, and that Vega took a pay cut.
Oh damn, that's crazy. Okay.
So
well, he couldn't beat Querétaro. That's not a good start to the season for him. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Okay, so we talked about Monte, we talked about Brian Rubio. I'm trying to see who else.
Se fue Borja Sánchez.
Borja went back to Oviedo. Did you guys see what he said when lo estaban entrevistando allá en Oviedo? That he actually wanted to stay.
Oh, really?
I did see that.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
He said, I didn't expect to be back this soon. Like he está acostumbrado a la ciudad, al equipo, blah, blah, and he wanted to stay longer. And I guess that was just out of his hands.
Yeah. Omar Fernandez also left.
Omar Fed left, which I think a lot of fans would be happy. Poor guy. It's just.
I know you were very sad, buddy.
Well, it just likes to be in a situation that, it's a player that goes back to clubs, right? So he ends up being back. No le encuentran un equipo para acomodarlo. He ends up staying. People don't like him. Start booing at him. He has these off games, then he has good games, and it's just tough to be in that situation. And all he can do is be professional about it and say, "Well, aquí estoy para jugar and aportar al equipo." I mean, what else can you do?
Yeah, it's a shame. He's a good guy too.
He's a good guy,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah, wish him the best. He went to
Everton.
Chile. Yeah, Everton. Yeah.
So Marfer left. Also the rumors of Fidel and Oviedo wanting Fidel and all this stuff. You guys?
Wait, Oviedo was in there? I thought it was just
so.
Chivas.
No,
What?
no, Oviedo.
Oviedo.
Lo querían en España.
I mean, they already took Olombato from us.
Yeah, which he signed an extension.
Yeah, he signed an
47.
extension with the Grupo, which I thought was strange. I don't know what you guys think, but I thought that was strange to the wording that they chose. He signed an extension through 2027 with Grupo Pachuca, but not with one certain club. I think I've ever seen it phrased that way. Even if it's, there are multiple clubs in the Grupo, they usually say he has extended with Eki's club. But this time they just said he extended with Grupo Pachuca, and in his his Instagram post, his personal Instagram post about it, he posted a picture of himself in a León jersey.
I saw that. He also posted it on Twitter.
Yeah, which I don't know. I just thought that was strange.
It is strange.
Maybe he'll be back soon for the club.
Probably not this season, but
I don't know if he
maybe
wants to come back. Does he? He's living his life happily abroad, like he wanted to at the end of the day.
I understand wanting to live in Oviedo. If you guys haven't been to Oviedo, I had the pleasure of going there once, played with the orchestra, and it's a beautiful city. Great. I'm sure he has a great life there. But I mean, I don't know, playing in Segunda, like being a mid-table team in Segunda in España, or consistently fighting for trophies here in Mexico. I don't know which one. I think I would prefer the latter, but who knows what's going through his mind.
Yeah, odd.
Yeah, as long as he's still under the group control, there's always a possibility he can come back.
Which, if he does, as long as he's in his best form, Colon Baby is more than welcome to be back. I think that's it for departures.
También se fue Pedro Hernández. Pedro Hernández went to Celaya.
Did he?
Pedro Hernández went to Celaya. He's the.
What about any other youngsters? No.
I don't remember hearing about any other youngsters. I think that was it. But yeah, Pedro Hernández es un toro. Physically and literally.
Well, I hope he gets playing time. That way he can come back.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's go. So obviously we had talked about. So unfortunately, Javi can't join us. Having some technical difficulties. Nos manda saludos from the chats. Javi, te esperamos next week. Obviously we talked about the quick departure of Larcamón, and definitely Baiva lined up. First thing when I looked at Baiva, is that he was a goalie, right? And he's so tall. Did you guys see the picture of him with Jesus Martinez? And I'm like, oh my God, I forgot. I was like, oh yeah, this guy was a goalie. Like, he's so tall. But anyways, so obviously, yes, he's coming from Uruguay, and I've seen people on Twitter kind of, be in love with it, because they're like, oh, like kind of resemble, Matosas and all that. But Baiva, young coach, 42 years old, from Montevideo, Uruguay, and yeah,
multicampeón, right? With that club in Uruguay. Yeah, so se vino. Did he just win it? He just won it too, right?
He just won it.
Se vino campeón, multicampeón, and now let's see if his formula works in Mexico.
Definitely. Did you guys hear? I think one of his press conference, and he gives me good vibes, and he was talking about obviously the the refuerzos, but thinking about like, the refuerzos, but thinking about it not just, not necessarily for this season, for the next season. He's thinking long term. I don't know. He gives me a really, really good vibe. Very serious. So I'm kind of excited to see what he does. I think I'm more excited with Baba than I was with Paiva, to be honest, towards the beginning.
Well, but let me just spitball here. They're arriving under similar circumstances. Paiva had just been champion of the Ecuadorian League when he came here and was sought after basically for that reason.
Yeah.
I mean,
he only has a year and like a year and a half maybe coaching. Like, he's still a new coach.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a different situation because right off the bat, he suggested some players and they brought them in. He had that chance to at least partially fill out his own team in a way that even Larcamón never did. I mean, Larcamón's base was players who were already here when he arrived, and he never really had carta blanca to fill out his own team. And I feel like from the get-go,
he brought Frias, he brought Perro. I mean, those were the two that he brought alongside Ivan Moreno.
And then after that, he got nothing.
After that, he got nothing.
He got the leftovers.
Yeah, I mean, also those guys weren't. I mean, I don't think he'd ever worked with them directly. They were players that he knew of that were on his radar. But I mean, I think the guys Baba's bringing in are guys he knows intimately well, like from their time in Uruguay. I think it's just a different kind of. If I get the impression that it's a different kind of relationship, and that makes me a little bit more optimistic than I was either with Paiva or with Larcamón in terms of roster building.
Yeah.
And they're young players. They're like under 26.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Gonzalo Napoli, who's
23.
Probably not going to be available. He probably is not going to be. I think he's still getting his paperwork in order. He's not going to be available for Wednesday's match.
No, he was getting his paperwork sorted out in Guatemala. Very young, 23. He's a lefty. And did you guys see about people on Twitter going about Jefecito? I guess people were wanting Jefecito out the door. But didn't he sign again?
He signed an extension. I think it was a 2-year extension. So he's still under club control. Sorry, guys, he's not going anywhere unless he goes to Pachuca. Or Oviedo.
Pachuca. Oh, on that note, Pachuca, Byron Castillo went to Everton también. Lo llevaron.
Did he? Wow.
Wait,
how the mighty have fallen.
He went to Barcelona.
Where did he? No, see?
Yeah, he didn't. I don't think he went to Everton.
I thought he went to Everton.
Híjole, a ver.
Because I thought I saw a tweet.
He plays, Barcelona. Huh?
Did I see wrong?
A ver.
Oh, sorry. He went to Peñarol.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Not Barcelona. Sorry. Not Everton. He went to Peñarol. They loaned him out. Because his contract was like, with Grupo Pachuca, wasn't it like 4 or 5 years? It was like a big contract.
Yeah, but that's when we thought he was younger than he really is.
Now, we don't have any proof of that, Carlos.
We don't have proof. But
he's supposed to be like 24 and he's really like 28.
Does the contract fly out the window then because we don't know his real age or when his contract started?
No, I don't think so.
Arturo Ruiz said, from what I've seen from Baba, when people say he reminds of Matosas, that's what I saw. That people were saying reminds him of Matosas. Yes, he went to Peñarol. Sorry. Quick error. Anyways, Napoli. Did you guys see the announcements? Estilo La Casa de Papel. I thought that was funny because his last name is Napoli. You guys ever watched La Casa de Papel? Best series ever.
I did see that. I was never a big fan of the show, but I understood the reference.
Oh, it's the best show ever. And then after Gonzalo Napoli, well, first it was Ana Medina and then Gonzalo Napoli, which Medina is 25 years old. So yes, we do have younger players. And then I saw, was it today when I saw about the other possible refuerzo? Did you guys see that?
No, I know there's
I
at
think
least
he's
one more
also
on the
from
way.
Liverpool.
I don't know, but anyway, this guy, Alan Medina, was a number 10 at Liverpool. All right, so he always wore the number 10. So it's kind of interesting that they decided not to give him La 10 with León. They gave it to Diente. So I'm interested to see what jersey this guy's getting, and if he even plays the number 10 role, because that's the role that he plays.
Do you think I think it may vary club by club and whatever, but do you think maybe lo del 10 ya estaba palabrado or something beforehand, before Baba came?
Wait, who?
Like giving Diente number 10, do you think maybe there was already talks about that before that, like ya le había prometido? You know what I mean? I'm saying it may vary club by club, but I just think, giving Diente 10 kind of seems a bit off.
Well, that's a big responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Like number 10, se la dieron a Davila, like for a reason. And Diente hasn't shown anything with León because he didn't have those minutes. So it'll be interesting if he asked for it or if it was given to him, like, this is what we expect from you, or if he said, give me that because I have a coach who's going to give me minutes and I can show you guys what I'm made of.
Definitely. So I just saw a tweet saying que acá en México, por el cupo de extranjeros, estoy viendo a quién traigo. Sobre Thiago Vecino, a él ya lo pedí en Liverpool cuando estaba en Nacional. So Jorge Baba said a medios paraguayos. So yeah, that's the guy. Thiago Vecino is the one that I've seen. That apparently.
What position?
I haven't looked up because I just saw that today.
Oh, okay.
Thiago
He's
Vecino.
a forward.
6
foot forward, yeah.
Oh, he's tall.
And he's 24 years old, and I think he might be a striker.
Yeah, forward for Liverpool, Montevideo.
Yeah. It's a 6 foot. Wow, okay.
Oh, yeah, he's tall.
Well, let's see if it goes through.
Yeah, because he played for Nacional, then he played for Liverpool, Montevideo. He had 20 goals. Then he went on loan to Unión Santa Fe.
Uh-oh.
So it says 2023.
Breaking news. Jesus Martinez just tweeted a little clock with a bunch of bombas. So something big's cooking.
Ooh.
Refresh your timeline. Refresh your timeline.
I did. It's not coming.
Refresh your timelines. Jesus Martinez just tweeted a clock with a bunch of bombas. Uh-oh.
You know what would be funny? If like lo suelta ya when we're live. That would be awesome.
Let's invite him on the pod. Call in. Dial in. Call into the group, the WhatsApp group, and put him on speaker.
Does he still have that WhatsApp group? I never was able to join.
I don't know.
Didn't he put his phone number like, you guys can send me a WhatsApp? I love how fast you tweeted that, Carlos. Because like someone's like, ya no sé ni creerte. Boselli, ? No será Boselli, ? Because Boselli is back in León.
No. I'm sorry, but no, I don't.
No, just I'm happy he's back in León, just to be back in León. Not for the team, but we love him.
Because somebody in the chat, I'm not going to say any names, but Javier really wants Boselli back on the team for some reason. And I'm like, no. Like, he's 38. He's retired. Just.
Arturo Ruiz, regresa al matador. I mean, this is the thing. If Baba's thinking of getting this forward that he wants, I mean, there's no point of getting someone else if he wants to play. Suéltala, mi presi.
Huh?
I still got to look for this tweet. I haven't seen it yet. It was
retweeted it.
Oh, Jesus Martinez tweet?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's all over Twitter.
Oh, yeah. 3 minutes. 3 minutes ago. Alarm clock. 6 bombas.
Bomba.
Wow.
Who could be
Wow.
that valuable of 6 bombas?
I mean,
Arturo said, "We still them boys, huh? Got it." Look, I don't want to talk about the Cowboys. They disappointed me like they do every year. Yeah, Arturo, I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know if Jerry Jones needs to do, but he has to clean house or something. I'm
put it in
tired.
Liga MX
Tired.
terms.
Well, I can't put it like Mexico. The best terms I can put it is Mexico going to the Mundial and not getting past a certain, not getting out of either the group or not getting out of the round of 16 after. Because we nunca podemos. Gustavo Arana said Carlos Vela.
Hey.
Dude's washed.
I like these guesses. Anybody else? Who else? We have
Yeah.
Ocelli, Reyes Matador, we have Carlos Vela guess. Someone said Alexis Vega. Did you not see he's already at Toluca?
Oh, I saw. Yeah, I saw. There was a tweet out there that I saw something about Vega going to Toluca.
Yeah. Yeah, suéltala. We want to know live. Okay, so Paco Vela retweeted Jesus Martinez tweet and said, Baba en Paraguay habló de que buscaban un volante mexicano y en caso de conseguirlo irán por delantero NFM.
No formado en México.
¿Cuál volante mexicano would he want?
¿Mexicano?
That's what Paco Vela said.
Ooh.
Javi,
What's up?
are you there?
What's up?
Javi? Hello. That's what Paco Vela said.
I can't think of any.
Everybody's tweeting esta bomba ya va
Chicharito?
a
No.
explotar. Nah. Arturo Ruiz Corozo returns. We didn't even talk about him because he's literally just Corozo was like the Simpsons when he like got to the club for one day and then Barcelona purchased him and he went back. That was funny. Yeah, everybody's just tweeting like what's going on. Let me just go over. Let's see. Just got done Googling Thiago Vecino. The jornada one. So started off with Friday night, Querétaro drawing 2-2 against Toluca, Mazatlán losing to San Luis 1-0, classic Viernes Botanero game. Saturday, Cruz Azul losing to Pachuca 1-0, Chivas and Santos drawing 1-1, América winning against Xolos 2-0, Monterrey 2-0 against Puebla, Pumas winning at home with the man down 1-0 against Juárez. Necaxa, I did see something of the ending of Necaxa. Necaxa ganó de milagro. Like literally the last 4 or 5 minutes, they were down 1-0 the whole game.
I saw that.
And they came back.
Who did they beat? Atlas?
Mad.
Atlas.
They beat Atlas.
Atlas
yeah.
se tiró atrás.
Yeah. That was a mad game. And then obviously our game on Wednesday at home, recibiendo a Tigres. So that's a bit of the summary.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about it.
No.
That's a tough game.
Gustavo Aranda said Efrain Alvarez. No, he's at Xolos.
Yeah.
At Xolos. And he still has a lot to prove there. I really wonder who it is. Especially thinking about Paco Vela's tweet about they wanted to go for a Mexicano. If that's not available, then they'll have to go out.
Paco Vela said it's going to be a bomba.
El 3.
El Presi said it was going to be a bomba.
Oh, okay.
He had 6 bombas. As Carlos said, who tweeted.
Why did Arturo Corozo's not going to return, man?
Okay, guys. So let's quickly talk about obviously our game at home. What do we say? Alameda was probably not going to be available because he's still sorting out his
No, Alan Medina, I think will be available. It's Gonzalo Napoli. who
Napoli.
won't be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Napoli then might not be available. Everybody else should. I guess Mena's still staying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We haven't heard. I haven't seen or heard otherwise.
I haven't seen anything. Yeah.
Arturo said, I thought Brice said no more Mexicans for this season, though. Did he say that? I didn't hear him say that.
I don't think he said it in those words, but
Yeah.
Well,
we have
for the record,
one
for the
extra
record,
head
anyone
spot,
who
right?
might be confused, Boselli would not be. He would require an NFM spot. If anybody's curious about that, because I saw a lot of people commenting saying, "No, but he's naturalized Mexicano. He wouldn't take up an NFM spot." But he's not. It's not naturalized in Mexico. It's no formado in Mexico. His first registro in Mexican football was after the age of 18, obviously. So he's not. He is a jugador NFM despite being naturalized.
yeah.
Okay.
People really want Boselli back.
I mean, we shouldn't be depending on him to bring us to the promised land. But I would take 6 more months so he can break the record. Sure. I mean, the thing is, he was still
anything better than
still
Rubio,
playing
like
well.
40-year-old.
He was still playing well
up until the moment he left. He left Estudiantes.
Dude, they eliminated Boca in semifinales.
He's still a highly
they
productive
eliminated
player.
Boca that needed to win.
But
still. I don't know. For him coming back, I just thought because when he first got to the city, he was talking about quería un partido, kind of de despedida. He was going to talk to El Presi or whatever. And then Chapo Montes kind of got that deal in the way, right, with his contract and getting that partido, which will be interesting if they do it contra Juarez or whatever. But yeah, I thought Boselli was going to get that too. But yeah, it's just a lot of weirdness because of the number switching and swapping and the 17 being free. So I think that's where all these conspiracies were coming from. But he is in the city, so I don't know. I don't know what the bomba is.
I think we won't know during this time on the pod. Okay, so just quickly, I know obviously it's our first match against Tigres. Obviously, we know the kind of history we have against Tigres and what kind of games those are. Tigres has acquired Bruneta and ¿quién más? I think it was one more player, no?
Everyone.
Everybody
they got
else.
everyone. Tigres gets everyone.
They get everyone.
But
yeah, I mean, what kind of game are you guys expecting against Tigres at home in El Glorioso?
It'll be interesting to see if they rest their players because America did it. America rested. They were basically playing with like third string players for the first game, and I think Jardine said, or Jardine, or como se pronuncia. He said it was because he wanted to give them an extra week of descanso because of the final.
Yeah.
So
Nahuel isn't going to play, right?
Yeah,
Nahuel
he's suspended. Yeah, he's suspended.
So I like our chances if they rest, their players.
And Nahuel's not
I will see.
I hope like none of their refuerzos play and stuff. Like, yeah, I hope it's an easy matchup for León and El Glorioso. They got an interesting schedule because they're not going to play la segunda jornada, right? The Pachuca game. So, yeah, I think by the time they play Santos, a lot of their players will be rested, and I think we will have una buena alineación más cercana a what's going to be for the rest of the season. But yeah, against Tigres though, I think you got to beat Tigres always in your casa for all of us that were there at that stadium in esa final y se perdió. So yeah, that's gotta be. And el presidente's mind that should always be when they face Tigres. Like en el glorioso jamás se puede perder again con Tigres. You better win.
I
I
think
don't
it'd
care if
be
they don't
good.
got Nahuel or Guignac or anything. I'm hoping for a win.
I think it'd be good to start on the right foot against a Tigres coming back. You know what I mean? Obviously they haven't gained the whole momentum. Not that
Yeah.
that's gonna matter because they have good quality players and whatnot. But it's good to just cross Tigres off in the first jornada, despite whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, let's go to
Yeah, just cross them
prediction
off.
time. And everybody in the chat listening, give me your predictions on the Leon versus Tigres.
Prediction time!
Louis, give me your prediction.
I think we pull out a 2-1, something like that. I do think we will win the game. There will be a lot of motivation on Baba's part and also the team playing for a new coach to get off to a good start, especially after that. The last time they played, obviously did not go the way anybody wanted. So they'll be wanting to get that out of their system, and I do think we could see not a heavily rotated, at least a partially rotated Tigres side, and obviously Nahuel not being in goal, and it will be our old friend Carlos Felipe Rodriguez, no, one time Club Leon backup, now backing up Nahuel. He will be starting in goal for Tigres. I have confidence we can get a solid result in this match day one. So yeah, I'll go with a 2-1.
2-1, Louis says.
Mm.
Anybody in the chat want to let me know your predictions? While we go with Javi. Javi, your prediction.
Yeah, I think it's going to be kind of the same. I want it to be a little more goals though, so I think 3-2. I'm not still sure what we're going to see in the back, but I think it's going to be one of those games where it can be intense from both sides. But I think just Leon being at home and just estrenándose frente a su gente en el glorioso, I think it's got to be motivating. So. Especially ganándole un equipo como Tigres finalista. It's just like you said, Kari. It's like crossing them off. So I think just a 3-2 would be to me like perfect.
High scoring game for Javi. 3-2 victory from Leon. Arturo Ruiz said no Nahuel, no party. Says 2-1 Leon victory. Carlos, your prediction.
We actually didn't talk about the preseason game that we had against Atletico Morelia.
¿Cómo quedaron?
Oh yeah,
I think we won. It was 1-0.
Gol de Plátano.
1-0
Yeah.
gol de Platico.
And it was, again, the usual starters. The only fill-in was Alan Medina, I think. It's Alan Medina who's in there in the midfield. So, again, usual starters, obviously the Menas, the Viñas, the Barreiros, Tecillo. Given that lineup, I think we'll be all right. If Tigres doesn't come out, with their full squad and they decide to rest some players, I think we have a good chance to win. I don't know. Let's go with a 1-0. I'll keep things close. 1-0.
1-0, Carlos. That's what I was gonna go really conservative like you. So I will also say 1-0. I think we can get a 1-0, play good, show some good stuff, especially from if Alan plays, que nos dé más confianza of what we can look forward to. So I will go with Carlos, also 1-0. So we all predict a Leon victory, which would make us really, really happy. Louis, are you be going to the game?
Absolutely, I'll be there
Cool.
for sure. Yeah, already
Viajero,
mapping out my itinerary for the season. We don't obviously have
2024.
our match day 2 against Pachuca was pushed back for some reason. So we got
Yeah, I
two.
saw
We have
that.
2 home games. We have 2 home games to start the season, and then 2 away games at Mazatlan and Toluca. So I'll be I'll be setting up shop in Mexico City for about a week, and I'll go for the Mazatlan 2 days in between. Come back to Mexico City, then go to Toluca for that match. So I'll be, I'm working everything out so I can be once again. Yes, I did just go to the Club World Cup, but no rest for the weary. Gotta keep at it. Gotta still be
Dude,
there.
you're fiero viajero, man. Come on, we wouldn't expect less. I was about to cut still.
No crazy trips to Central America or anything or the Caribbean this time around though, because we're not unfortunately participating in the Conca Champions. But
Hey, that
we'll
could
see
be a
about,
blessing in disguise in a way, because the other teams are gonna have to play extra.
It's a blessing in disguise if we really si nos ponemos las pilas in league play and like really focus on league play.
Yeah.
And then it could be a blessing in disguise. But if we just if we crash out again early, then it won't be. But we'll see about Leagues Cup too. We'll see where
Leagues Cup.
If we get to go anywhere cool for that. Maybe Dallas, Scotty.
Ooh. Why'd you say Dallas?
Scotty is from Dallas.
That's why.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Green Bay Dallas game.
No,
I'm sorry.
not.
We were talking.
No, I don't want to talk about that.
I'm watching the Bucks and the Eagles.
I know. That's why. Let's go ahead and go so we can see that. I can see.
Wait, Carlos doesn't like football,
I mean, I'll watch, but I don't really have a team or anything.
But you don't.
I'll watch here and there.
It is. That's what it is.
I watch when there's like when there's a plus.
Oh, you could be the LA Rams. Like I never had a problem with the LA Rams. I thought that was always LA's team.
Nah, I'll probably be like a Raiders fan or something.
Heck yeah, you're cool, man.
You look like you. You know what? They were black, Carlos, so that would.
Yes,
fit
you already
right
got.
in with your...
You already look like a Raiders fan. You got.
Hey,
the
I was
black.
gonna say, did you guys see somebody posted a giveaway of Leon jerseys, and in the giveaway they posted the pink.
Oh yeah,
Club World Cup jersey.
Yeah, they did.
Did you guys see? I can't remember who posted it, but did you guys see
a wife?
It?
No,
I've seen the pink jersey because someone's wife uploaded the pink jersey. I did not see the giveaway.
Yes. Yeah, there was a giveaway.
It doesn't look
I can't
pink,
remember
though.
who.
Does it?
I can't remember. Yeah, it was pink. It is pink.
I'm like colorblind.
It has like a diseño, like it has the face of a lion. Obviously, the cementos right here, but it looks pretty. It looks decent. I'd wear it.
I don't know why they didn't.
I gotta check my.
They don't sell that one.
But there's a giveaway somewhere. I can't remember. I can't find it.
Somewhere in Leon.
Somebody.
Oh, you better be on top of that.
It was like a.
Someone let me know so I can get.
It was like a raffle kind of thing. You had to buy raffle tickets for it. Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, so I just wanted to point out that we actually got to see it.
Yeah, because they were like, "You're never gonna see it, and it's the most beautiful thing ever." And I was like, "Come on, that's who does?"
That's too cruel.
I know.
Too cruel. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and finish watching the rest of the game. We have gone over an hour, so enough of us. Shout out to Arturo Ruiz in the comments, to Gustavo Aranda, to Javi, of course, which was able to join us after all. But yeah, everybody who will later listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, thank you so much for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. If you, for any reason, are missing out the game on Wednesday, don't forget to follow Group Leon EN. Keep you updated with all the live tweets of the game. So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us this Monday Night Football, and we'll see you guys on another podcast.
Arriba la fiera.
Arriba la fiera.